Lakers' personal stories were about perseverance, too. This year, well, hasn't been nearly as easy for the Lakers to form an identity, as evidenced by the last two nights at Staples Center. There was Sunday's game against the Raptors, in which the Lakers were torched by, of all people, Kyle Lowry. Yes, the guard they had chased, then failed to acquire at the trade deadline. It was the Lakers' sixth loss in 7 games, and afterward, we heard a lot of soul searching. Here's just a small sampling.
The entire team is kind of in a in the slump right now, in the drought. I think this is the lowest we've been in a while. The only way, is up. We really can't get any lower than this.
I just don't think we're connected right now. I think we're unhealthy and just not good enough. We're just not together as a whole. Team, staff, everything.
Also after that game, LeBron revealed he was feeling increased pain in his ankle. He would miss last night. And we learned that starting point guard Dennis Schroeder was going to be out for at least 10 to 14 days due to COVID protocols. Even once Schroeder comes back, it's unclear what shape he'll be in. As we've seen in Boston with both Jason Tatum, Evan Fournier, it can take weeks or even months after having COVID for some players to feel like themselves again. So yeah, that was a lot for the Lakers to be taking into last night's game against a Denver team that has been red hot despite losing Jamal Murray. And how nice was it, by the way, to see Jamal out on the floor during pregame? You could see how much fun that was for the whole Nuggets group. Yet once the game started, it was the Lakers who were not only able to take a lead, but protect it. AD was sharp, racking up 25 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks, and none more crucial than this. Woo! Campazzo's last-second three-point attempt blocked. Now, as a fellow short person, I don't want to point out that there's a little bit of a height difference there, but there's a little bit of a height difference there. Anthony is an entire foot taller than Campazzo, but what really stood out on that play was AD showing he is getting his mobility back. And last night, we saw some standout play from Marc Gasol, who had some solid defense on MVP favorite Nikola Jokic, while also breaking out moves like this full-court pass to Wes Matthews. In many ways, Gasol has been emblematic of the Lakers' search for an identity this season. Gasol began the season as the Lakers' starting center, then fell out of favor enough that the team went after Andre Drummond, whose arrival left Gasol questioning whether he had a place on the Lakers at all. Even last night, he was the Lakers' 11th player to enter the game out of 11 players total. And yet afterward, Gasol seemed more comfortable than he's been in a while, calling himself the Wolf after the Pulp Fiction character who went around cleaning up other people's messes. Now, I'm not sure exactly what that says about the state of this Lakers team in terms of the whole brain splattered in the back seat thing. But hey, at least Gasol has finally seemed to lock in on who he is here in LA. Finding that, it's a crucial aspect of any winning team and something the rest of the Lakers are going to have to do to have any hope of another championship run. So, Perk, is everything good in Lakerland now after that win last night, or do you think they still have to go further in finding their identity?
I think they still have to go further, but I thought last night was a great starting point. And here's why I love the play-in. Last night, the Lakers had to play with a sense of urgency because they were in a must-win situation. That was a playoff-type game. They locked down on the defensive end, holding the Denver Nuggets to only 89 points. They got it out the mud. They were in the trenches last night. That's what you love to see. You love to see Marc Gasol turn back the hands of time, battling it down there with Jokic. Anthony Davis took it upon himself to attack the basket and get guys on a low block. It was a must-win situation. I wouldn't jump the gun because we don't know when LeBron is coming back or if he's ever going to be close to 80%. Right now, I think he's 60%. So it was a great starting point, shall I say, Rachel.
Well, I think what was interesting in this game is Anthony Davis did Anthony Davis things again. And since he's come back, they were minus 56 with him on the court. Mm-hmm. He was not good in the games that he had come back. And he would tell you the same thing. Right. But at the end of that game, I was texting with Dave McMenamin in the middle of the show, in the middle of the game, and I said, Dave, AD has to close this. Mm-hmm. This is why he's on the court. This is his team. When LeBron's not out there, he's got to close it. And I thought that last play was pretty emblematic of the night. So Jokic has a 3, and he's got Alex Caruso on the closeout. And he's right there, okay? He's right there. Alex Caruso, you can shoot over Alex Caruso, but Jokic makes the right pass over there to Campazzo. Look at the closeout from Anthony Davis. Look how much ground he covers there. Okay, Campazzo's he's a little short, okay? But look at how much ground Anthony Davis closed on that. Then he gets a steal, gets a block, and finishes out that play there. And I think when you see their identity last year, Perk, and we talked about them a lot, they are a defensive-minded team, and they were not winning with defense in the last since Anthony Davis had come back. He is the head of the snake for them defensively, and when he's doing those kinds of things out there on the court, and Marc Gasol is, what would you call his defense on Jokic yesterday?
I mean, he called himself the wolf. He's the cleaner.
Arm in the back, right? I mean, he was. You could not move him. I mean, he was Big Spain out there this time, and I think when you have those two guys out there, plus Marc Gasol kind of playing point guard out there without Dennis Schroeder, that is a different kind of identity for them, but it's something they can work with until LeBron comes back.
Perk, how concerned are you about Dennis being out for these couple weeks?
I'm very concerned because, Rachel, I always say, and Ramona, I always tell the world that guys could do whatever they want to try to stay in basketball shape. And I don't know how the protocol situation is. I don't know if Dennis is even able to train. But in order to get back in shape, you have to play basketball games. You have to be able to have that workload. And so I'm concerned for when Dennis do get back, that time is not on his side. It's not that many games left. And when he comes back, he's just going to have to get thrown in the thick of things. And one thing could happen is, and I hope it don't, injuries happen because you haven't been able to work out. So, I hope Dennis is in there, wherever he's at. I know he's probably in protocol, so I hope he's doing his push-ups, squat jumps, doing whatever he can to try to stay in shape. But I'm very concerned with him getting back and being able to play at top capacity, especially in the playoffs.
Well, it's an interesting, larger question, too, because he's not the only one. In fact, we have two players in the playoff race, Zach LaVine and Schroeder, out due to COVID protocols. And it's an issue because LaVine has missed 11 games for the Bulls, who have fallen out of the play-in race in the East. Schroeder is missing games due to COVID protocols for the second time this season. With vaccines widely available, you do wonder if this second absence could have been prevented. Schroeder's teammate Anthony Davis spoke about the vaccine yesterday after the game. Take a listen.
I think it was highly encouraged, and some guys did, some guys didn't, for their own personal reasons. I decided to, for my own personal reasons. The rules do change a little bit when you are fully vaccinated. So I'm not sure. I think we got a lot of guys on this team who have been vaccinated. I think, if I'm not mistaken, but we're just trying to play our part, man. Honestly, I'm trying to play my part and get 20,000 back in Staples so we can, get some more cheers in there than we have now.
Ramona, look, which